Hello everyone, this is part 10 of What If Naruto Awakened Storm release, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to see more comment down in the office with a flash of blue light. Mom, shit got ugly. Tsunade opened a drawer filled with sake at the conversation that was about to go down. Start from the beginning. Tsunade took a swig. Naruto then began to give her a detailed report of what went down during the mission. He told her about how he transformed into Sasori in order to fool the spy, which turned out to be Kabuto, who managed to escape. Gurren had stepped up to explain her fight with the glasses-wearing loser, is how she put it. Once done explaining her fight, Gurren stepped back in order to let Naruto finish. Naruto told her about how he was beating the shit out of her former teammate who was weakened. Tsunade wasn't that surprised that her son called Orochimaru a boring dance partner. Yes, the snake was weak, but he was a S-rank ninja with multiple victories under his belt. He then ran away when I was about to finish his ass, but you know there is no hiding from me. Naruto said with pride in his tone, making Tsunade roll her eyes at Naruto bragging about his sensing abilities. Yes, can you get back to the report? Tsunade was already on her second bottle of sake, which was becoming empty. Once we tracked him down, we found his base and I blew it up with a jutsu of mine. Once the place was destroyed, I flooded it with a powerful water jutsu and then added some lighting onto it. Naruto said all of this like he was just talking about how his day went. Tsunade got a sweet drop at how Naruto just said he destroyed a base and all the people in it. Orochimaru and none other than the runaway Uchiha came out of the snake hole. Long story short, the Uchiha disrespected me in the clan, so killed him along with his teacher. Naruto shrugged his shoulders at the loss of a clan and once comrade. Tsunade widened her eyes at Naruto's last statement. So they are both dead. Naruto only took out the scroll and tossed it to her. Tsunade caught it with ease and then set it on the desk and unsealed it, allowing the dead bodies of Sasuke and Orochimaru to appear on the desk. Tsunade gazed at the bodies with a critical eye to make sure this was no joke and they were actually dead. I see, this is the real deal. You should expect nothing less from none other than Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto crossed his arms and smirked at the Hokage. His features then changed into a serious face. Now what is this I hear about the stone sending 500 ninjas to the land of grass? Tsunade also got serious. That is true, and I have already sent ninjas to confront them along with backing up the land of grass. Gurren, Kakashi, and Sakura, who didn't know about this, gasped in shock. They had no doubt that this would spark the fourth great ninja war. Do you want me to go and back them up? I could easily wipe that force out. Naruto asked, knowing full well he had the power to make such things happen. I would like to, but you have been requested for a mission by the Princess of the Land of Spring in 2 days. Plus, the force I've sent will be good enough to handle this. A smile crossed Naruto's face for a little. He hadn't seen her in a long time but did have a good farewell. What does she need? Sakura, Kakashi, and Gurren left the room to do their own thing. He would see Gurren whenever he got home, and Sakura was most likely going to hang out with her boyfriend. Which reminded him he needed to have a talk with that bony fella. I need you to protect the materials we will be receiving from the land of snow. If it's just me, I can simply teleport them here. Tsunade shook her head. I forgot to mention. She requested Rukia Uzumaki and your team. Naruto's eyes widened. No way. I am cool with doing the mission with my team, but I can't go with Rukia-chan. My missions are way too dangerous for her. Tsunade only sighed at this. She knew he would react like this. Look, Naru. Tsunade's look softened and spoke in a motherly tone to Naruto. Rukia-chan isn't a little girl anymore, and you can't keep treating her like that. She is strong enough to be placed as an A-rank ninja in the bingo book. You saw firsthand how strong she was, and you will also be there to protect her. Tsunade had gotten up from her desk and walked over to Naruto and was able to look him directly in the eyes. If you keep trying to baby her, she won't grow any stronger, and it will only make her eager to leave the village and explore for herself. Tsunade then brought Naruto in for a hug. I am worried just as much as you are. I am the one who has to send her out on these missions, and there is also a war coming. I don't want to see any more of the people I love die to this cursed ninja lifestyle. Tsunade put her head onto Naruto's chest. The blonde, being shocked at seeing his normally strong mother in such a fragile state right now, wrapped his arms around her in a protective manner and went over her words. Cursed ninja lifestyle. Naruto then remembered seeing the destroyed land of his clan's village and all the skeletons of the kids and innocent people. That was not something he wanted to happen to Rukia or anyone who had a family they loved. I already have plans on fixing the shinobi lifestyle, this only hardens my resolve to make such changes. Out with the old and in with the new. Naruto pulled back from the hug and had a determined look, for what reason Tsunade didn't know. Naruto gave her a kiss on the forehead much like she did to him. It will all work out in the end. Just trust in me. Naruto wiggled the green necklace she had given him. Naruto then flashed away, leaving Tsunade in the office to get back to her paperwork so she could go to the compound and get drunk. Uzumaki compound. Naruto appeared inside the compound. It was the afternoon and mostly everyone was relaxing around the place. Kin was setting out drinks for everyone in her maid's outfit. The black-haired girl then saw him and smiled brightly. Naruto-sama. The shout alerted everyone to Naruto being home and they all waved. Naruto gave Kin a hug since she was holding him with a smile. So how's it going? Naruto asked, giving the girl a kiss. Great, Naruto-sama, everyone is having a good time. Why are you here? A voice he hadn't heard asked in an irritated tone. Well, everyone except her, Kin said and sighed at the woman who was making her way to Naruto. And who are you? Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow. If the spiritual pressure he could feel was anything to go by, then he had a good idea. He saw the woman give him a rather arrogant smile. So no Shirayuki. The now named Zanpakuto was a beautiful woman. She had clean pale skin with hair white as the richest snow that fell down to her lower back. Her hair was parted by a blue star clip on the left side of her hair. Icy blue eyes that looked similar to his in a way. Sode was wearing an all-white kimono that had large sleeves, a long hem, and it had a pale yellow-green obi wrapped around her waist. Naruto looked at his girls behind her who were making lewd hand gestures and giving him thumbs up. This was Anko, Gurren, Tayuya, Tsunami who was a secret freak, and even the shy Shizune. Naruto sent them all a wink and turned back to his daughter's sword spirit. The women really needed to chill out and he knew just what to do. Were you even listening to me, idiot? Shirayuki yelled in his face with her blue eyes glaring at him. 5 minutes later, oh yes. Fuck me, master. You like that? I love it. You're hitting all the right spots. Naruto was thrusting into Shirayuki in missionary position like a bull. He was showing no mercy and destroying her pussy like no other. His dick was reshaping her insides while he was sucking on her left breast. I am about to see cum. Shirayuki moaned out. Her mind was going blank and she could barely think. All that mattered was her master Naruto giving her a good fucking like he was doing now. He had picked her up and brought her to his room, and the next thing she knew, she was calling Naruto master and begging to be fucked. Come for me. Naruto whispered in her ear and bit on her ear, sending the sword spirit over the edge. The white-haired woman let out a scream and curled her toes and let out a massive orgasm to the likes she had never had before. Shirayuki panted with Naruto still inside of her. She needed to catch her breath. That was amazing, master. Naruto only grinned down at the white-haired women. We are not done yet. He then grabbed her shaking legs and pushed them back to her head and was now in the mating press ready to knock her out. She panicked. Wait. Let me rest. She was cut off when Naruto thrusted into her, causing her tongue to stick out her mouth while her head shot back in pleasure. Hours later, Naruto was sitting on the couch drinking tea he got from Kin with a satisfied smirk on his face. Around him was the rest of the family. They were currently looking at the red-faced Shirayuki. It was a good thing Rukia was outside so she couldn't see her like this and not the proper women she knew. So, Tayuya asked, leaning in with a smirk. How was it? Anko asked with her own smirk. The white-haired sword spirit tried to fight of the looks until it got too much for her. It was amazing and I called him master. Everything was silent after her outburst, only making her more embarrassed that she said that. She couldn't believe it herself. Naruto was so loving and he hit all the right spots. He would make her scream his name, and when he made those clones she had passed out from a sex coma. Naruto was a beast and she had submitted to his dominance. They all started to laugh at her, causing her to go red from embarrassment, and she ran out to the back where Rukia was out training. Naruto calmed down from his laughing fit and got up from his seat and walked to the backyard to see what Rukia was up to. He was wearing orange shorts with black slip-on sandals with no socks. He was wearing a baggy white t-shirt with a red Uzumaki spiral on the back. Naruto watched as Rukia performed different stances and slices along with attacks. Hado number 33 Sukachoi. Rukia held her right arm extended like she was about to perform a palm thrust and her left hand on her right forearm. A blue ball gathered and Naruto raised an eyebrow at the attack that looked similar to his storm-release supernova. Naruto saw Rukia launch the attack with immense speed and saw it cause a massive explosion that shook the ground. Naruto then saw Rukia disappear in her incomplete flash step above the explosion site and perform an overhead slice that shot giant ice spikes from her sword. However, Naruto saw a flaw in her movements. Good job Rukia-chan. But can you do that flash step again? Rukia looked over with surprise at Naruto before she registered what Naruto asked of her. The purple-eyed girl nodded and left in another flash step. There it is again. Naruto narrowed his eyes and flew over to the panting girl. I've noticed a problem in your flash step. Rukia widened her eyes in surprise. She knew something was wrong with it but she just couldn't figure it out. What is it, father? Can you help me? Rukia asked Naruto with hope in those royal purple eyes of hers. It had been a while since she asked him for help in her training, not since she first started to use a sword. He was about to ruffle her hair like he always did but stopped when he remembered that Tsunade said not to treat her like a kid. So he only smirked. Of course I can. This made his daughter smile and almost jump with happiness. Now with your flash step it seems that you seem to be using it wrong. How so? Rukia asked taking a sip of water. It's more of a leap in space and time and not constant steps like you are using it. You want to leap off a foot and not jump off your flat foot how you are doing it. What do you mean, father? Rukia asked Naruto, not getting what he was saying. I'll just show you, Naruto said with a smirk. How? You don't know the flash step. The smirk Naruto gave her made warning signs go off in her head. She watched Naruto channel wind chakra in the bottom of his feet and saw him bounce for a minute. Like this. Naruto then skipped out of sight for Rukia, making her go wide-eyed. She then saw a bunch of Narutos flashing all around her. Just bounce. One of the Narutos said. He stopped and appeared in front of her with a smirk. How did you do that? Rukia and Shiryuki were amazed at Naruto being able to copy the flash step with just his raw speed and wind chakra. I simply cover my feet in wind chakra and just bounce all around while also using my own speed and force of how hard you push off the air. However, Naruto stopped and disappeared again and started to flash around at even faster speeds and was only a blur to Rukia. She couldn't see him at all. This is the body flicker jutsu, a much better version of what I just did and also a watered down version of your flash step that could surpass all of those in speed. Naruto said with pride, aimed towards Rukia, who only smiled. Let me give it a go. Rukia then bounced off her foot and started to do multiple flash steps. Naruto watched as he saw Rukia flashing around with her black shihakusho that had a red Uzumaki swirl on the back. She was still wearing that white teko. Naruto still saw a problem in her flash step and it had more to do with her blade. To loose. Naruto reached out and caught Rukia, who had lost her balance and almost fell. Rukia had an embarrassed blush because Naruto caught her over his shoulder. Hey, thanks dad. No problem, now I saw another weakness in your flash steps. Naruto put her down so she could pay attention better. When you flash step you weaken the grip on your sword, which can lead to you dropping it during transition or it being knocked out of her hand, which would lead to your death. Naruto said in a serious tone to Rukia, who had a serious face, giving her dad full attention. I see. I indeed sometimes fumble around with my blade when I move at fast speeds. Rukia held her head down in shame until she felt Naruto pull her into his chest. Now, don't you get all sad because I said you have some weakness. Just train until you remove those weaknesses. You got me, Naruto said, patting the girl's back. She was still shorter than him, only going to his upper abdomen. Naruto smiled down at his daughter, who was leaning against him. She has really grown. Naruto recalled the times when she was much younger and still called him Papa. I get it, Dad. I just want to make you and the others proud of me. Rukia said, stepping back from the hug with a smile. We are already proud of you and we always will be. Naruto said with a smile. Master is right, we will always be proud of you no matter what. Shirayuki said through the mental link she had with Rukia. Rukia's eyes widen. Why did you call my dad master? Shirayuki panicked and blushed, but no one was able to see it, thankfully. No our reason, is simply lost a better and have to call him that F from now on. Okay, Rukia said with suspicion in her tone. She would have asked more if it wasn't for Naruto bringing her from her thoughts. Alright, I'll train you until our mission in 2 days. We have a mission together. Rukia was happy to be going on a mission with her father and was now pumped up. She could feel the ice running in her veins and got ready to train with her father. Outside the hidden grass, a group of 500 leaf ninja were standing across from the hidden stone ninjas, who also numbered at 500. The battle was about to commence and things would get bloody and not everyone would leave out alive. We fight towards peace and let this battle bring us a step closer. Yugao Azuki yelled out to her forces. She was the leader of this small army. The woman gripped her sword and raised it into the air, making the leaf ninja cheer out. Let's do this, Aruka said with determination. He had gotten back into training after seeing how strong his former students had become over the years. Tsunade, seeing this, had drafted him for the battle. Damn straight, now let's kick some stone ass. Genma shouted. The tree leaves shall bud anew this day, charge. Yugao shouted and charged with her sword ready. 2 days later, Rukia flashed step behind Naruto. She went for a downward slash, but not to her surprise, Naruto disappeared from her view. Naruto appeared above Rukia and delivered a falling axe kick to her. Rukia tried to put her sword to block, but the strength from Naruto was just too great. Rukia flew into the ground and formed a crater, causing her to also drop her blade. Naruto landed next to her without a sound. Didn't I tell you not to let your blade go? Rukia coughs and gets her breath together. I tried. My arms are just tingling right now from your kick. Don't worry about it, you need to put some muscle on that little body of yours and eat some steak. Naruto then stopped and got a teasing grin on his face. Maybe then your flat chest will grow. Rukia got a tick mark and her face became red with anger and embarrassment. She got to her feet in an instant and arched her arm. Hakuren. A large and powerful avalanche is launched from the tip of Rukia's blade. It hits Naruto, sending him into the house frozen in ice. Idiot fathers. Naruto, encased in ice, appeared in the living room. Though he was trapped, he still had a grin on his face. Haku got up from her seat with a sigh and walked over to Naruto. What did you say this time, Naruto-kun? Haku was about to get Naruto out of it until he just burst out of it. I only said she needs to eat and maybe her boobs will grow. Naruto walked over to Haku and planted a kiss on her lips. So ready for our mission? Yes, it will be a nice change of pace from working at the hospital and only going out on supply runs. Great, we just need Anko-chan and we will be ready. Anko then jumped on Naruto's back and wrapped her legs around his waist while he held her by her juicy ass. Speak of the devil. I heard you were looking for me. Anko nuzzled Naruto's face, making them both laugh. Get a room, mom and dad. Rukia said, coming in from the back. Over the years Naruto was gone, she had grown closer to the older women in her life and just saw them all as mothers. It may seem strange to others, but the whole clan was strange. If we do that, we wouldn't make it in time for the mission. Naruto said with a smirk, making Rukia blush in embarrassment at what Naruto was hinting at. Stop saying such things out loud, have you no shame? Rukia was not as free-going as Naruto. She had a wild side like the rest of the clan, but she had a much better handle on it. Oh come on little bunny, have some fun. Anko said from Naruto's back. Anyways, are you ready to go? Naruto asked Rukia. I have to grab something from my room and say goodbye to Chappie. Oh, let me come and talk to the little rascal. Naruto walked with Rukia to her room with Haku and Anko still on his back. They opened the door to see the perfectly clean room of Rukia. She had her bed against the wall in the corner with a white stuffed rabbit. She had a white carpet where the snow-white bunny Chappie laid. There were other things you normally kept in your room. Rukia had a mini icebox in her room where she kept her secret stash of carrots and lemonade. Chappie popped his head up and hopped towards Rukia, who opened her arms for him. I'll be going on a mission soon. Chappie licked her face, making Rukia giggle. Just go through the rabbit door if you need something. Rukia had made a doggy door but changed the name to rabbit hole. What's up, Chappie? Naruto started to rub the bunny's head, who leaned into his hand. I am glad you are getting along with my daughter. Yes, Chappie is just a sweetheart, Haku said and rubbed the white rabbit's head. Okay, let's get going, we wouldn't want the Hokage storming into the place, Anko said with a chuckle. I know what you mean, she has a real mean streak, Naruto said and walked to the door. Okay, just let me grab one more thing, Rukia said and went to her dresser and pulled out some fancy white goggles that she placed on her forehead while she moved her headband to her left arm bicep. Why are you wearing goggles? Naruto questions with a tilt of his head. Well, I just think they look really cool, Rukia said with a bright smile. If you like, then that's all that matters. Let's just go before Granny Tsunade blows a casket. Naruto placed a hand on Rukia's shoulder while Haku wrapped her arms around him. He left in a blue flash. Hokage office, we are about to leave Hokage-sama, Rukia said with a bow, making Tsunade smile at the young girl. Yay mom, so don't grow any gray hair while we're gone, Naruto said with a smirk, making Anko and Haku giggle while Rukia elbowed him in the side. Why can't you be more like your daughter? Tsunade said with a giant tick mark on her forehead. If I was like that, I wouldn't be as badass. Naruto patted his chest, which was covered by a regular Junin vest. He was wearing the regular Leaf Ninja outfit, except he had a Uzumaki flag on his waist along with a black sword holster horizontally on his lower back. He was also wearing fingerless gloves which had a metal plating on the back of the hand. Well, I hope Rukia doesn't follow in your footsteps, Tsunade said with crossed arms. We don't need her flying around with ice dragons. She looked up to see Naruto and Rukia crossing something out on a list. You wrote that down, Tsunade yelled, slamming her hands on the desk. Naruto and Rukia looked away with a sheepish look. No, they both said at the same time. Get out, Tsunade yelled. Old hag, Naruto said and flashed away, dodging the desk that Tsunade threw at him. Naruto along with the rest of everyone appeared in the sky. They began to fall to the ground. The girls let out screams at falling from so high up while Naruto was simply staring at them in deadpan. It's like they forgot I can fly, Naruto thought to himself. He bit his finger and went through hand signs for a summoning jutsu. A puff of smoke and everyone was caught by two thunderbirds. It was Blanco and Negro. Sup you two? Hello master, both birds said at the same time. Naruto looked around, not seeing Rukia. He then felt for her chakra and looked up to see her standing in thin air. Now that's impressive, Naruto said with a whistle. Everyone else looked up to see Rukia standing there. Rukia-chan, how are you doing that? Haku questioned Rukia with a shocked face. Well, I don't know, I just did it. Naruto narrowed his eyes towards her feet and tried to feel for wind chakra but didn't feel it at all. Must have to deal with her spiritual power. This was something done on instinct. Naruto simply gave a proud smile. At least I know she has the moves of the shinobi killer. Rukia then descended to the bird Naruto was on, which was Negro. Alright, that was awesome. Is that how it feels when you fly, Dad? Rukia said with excitement. Something like that, but you were only standing there, so next time try to fly off, Naruto said with a smirk. He then rubbed Negro's head. Now take us to the land of spring. The two thunderbirds zoomed through the sky with a mighty caw. Land of spring. The group was now jumping through the trees of the country since they had got off the birds a while ago. They sent Naruto another message from Hiro telling him she wanted to see him for some training. He would go see her after this mission before she raided the village looking for him. Alright, we are almost there, Naruto said to his team. They all nodded in confirmation. So what is this place like? Haku asked. Well, last time we saw it, there was snow everywhere until we activated a big-ass generator. It is most likely a grass field with mountain tops filled with grass and trees now. Naruto answers Haku's question without missing a beat from tree jumping. Naruto then stopped on the next branch, making everyone stop on his tree. The blonde wasn't really focused on what was going on. He closed his eyes and reached out with his senses. Naruto-kun, Anko asked with a head tilt. She saw Naruto drop to a knee and place his index finger on the ground. They all knew he was trying to sense something. He only got in this position if he was double-checking. This meant the person was either strong or it was multiple people. They then saw his face split into a full grin. Or he was about to have the fight of his life. Naruto then got up with his grin still in place. Let's go. Naruto dashed off at a faster pace, causing the others to try and keep up with him. The blonde fingered the sheath of his sword with barely contained excitement. Naruto-kun, what has you so excited? Anko asked the question everyone wanted to know. It's time. He simply replied, not really giving anything away and only bringing more questions to their mind. They all kept jumping until something shot out of the trees at blinding speeds and connected with Naruto, who threw his fist out with a grin to match what just collided with him. The force from which they collided blew the others back, causing just Naruto and the figure to be in the tree. Rukia came back to her senses and saw her dad in an intense taijutsu battle with what looked like a woman. She saw Naruto block and dodge a round of punches. Naruto then kneed the person in the stomach and grabbed them by the stomach and flipped them into a tree, causing them to crash through it. She watched as Naruto flew after them with a grin on his face. Naruto and the person were jumping through the trees and clashing at the same time at speeds she could barely keep up with. It seems her dad was still holding back when he showed her his speed. Naruto received an uppercut which shot his head back and got several punches to the gut, which was finished by a straight kick, sending him flying through a horde of trees. Rukia saw Naruto get up from the tree and launch back in the fight with some blood coming from his lip. However, he was still grinning and seemed to be having fun. His fight then resumed and he seemed to have the upper hand in the fight this time. She watched as Naruto ducked a left hook and rose up with his own uppercut, making the woman rise off her feet. Naruto backflips in the air and then zoomed back down with a dynamic entry which landed with the woman's stomach, sending her crashing into a grassy plain, causing a trench to form with her body in it. Naruto then hovered a good distance in the air and had a smirk on his face. Well, it seems you are looking submissive and breedable as ever, Naruto said with a playful smirk down to the women who had gotten up and now had red cheeks. You stupid birdbrain. Stop saying such nonsense to me. Kurosuchi yelled with a tick mark on her forehead. Naruto laughed at the black-haired teenage girl who only seemed to get angrier. Sorry Kurosuchi, it's just been so long since I've seen you and I just couldn't help myself, little bumblebee. The named Kurosuchi now started to release her chakra, which melted the ground due to her bloodline. Naruto released his chakra as well, causing the sky to darken and thunder to sound. I'm going to beat you this time. Kurosuchi yelled and went through hand signs and slammed her hands on the ground. Lava shot up from the ground like a geyser. So you want to play it like that? Naruto also went through hand signs of his own for one of his most powerful jutsu. The familiar three heads of Arashi started to form. When the beast finished, he rushed towards Kurosuchi. The pink-eyed teen was on top of a giant golem covered in lava and earth. It was big like a biju and matched the size of the towering Arashi. She rushed towards Naruto with a yell and clashed with her golem with his three-headed dragon beast, causing an explosive force to blow away everything in range. Rukia was currently slashing her sword at her massive opponent. He looked about 7 feet tall and fat mixed with muscle on his body. He had a full beard and thick sideburns. His name was Kitsuki, a strong Junin ninja in the Hidden Stone Forces. Rukia was watching her dad fight the black-haired girl when she had to block an attack from this person. Rukia was sent into a tree and spit up some blood. She got to her feet shakily and wiped the blood from her lip and got ready to do battle again. Despite the situation she was in, there was a grin on her face just like her father's. She too enjoyed a good battle now and then, but not to her father's level. Is that it? I can still keep dancing, Rukia said and got her sword ready once again. Why are you grinning like that? I am going to kill you. Kitsuki charged Rukia at great speeds for someone his size. Rukia charged back at him to his surprise and met his fist with her sword. Naruto punched away Kurosuchi to see Rukia in a fight with Kitsuki and hoped she could pull through in this fight. He knew she was strong, but could she defeat an elite Junin on her own? This would be the strongest opponent she has faced yet. Naruto's attention was stopped when he was punched from the top of Arashi's head and sent flying. Pay attention. Kurosuchi flew down to Naruto, leaving their two giant beasts to duke it out. She puffed out her chest and shot a giant lava dragon towards him. Naruto saw this and went through his own hand signs. Storm release, King Thunder. A giant thunderbird made from his bloodline raced towards the lava dragon and exploded with tremendous force. The blonde flashed towards the top of Arashi and sent a giant storm fist towards the lava golem, hitting it in the face, making it stumble back and cause great damage to the surroundings. Naruto saw Kurotsuki flash back on top of the lava golem. She had lost her hidden stone flak jacket and was now in her red shirt that had one sleeve. It had a couple of burns along with holes. Seems you survived the blast, but not untouched. You're one to talk. Half your flak jacket is destroyed and you have a busted lip. Kurotsuki yelled towards Naruto. They had been fighting for a good amount of time, but he was always healing, and the only signs of showing he was taking damage was his clothes being destroyed. Yet, through all this he was still giving her an excited smirk. He loved to fight too much. Don't worry little bee, this face that you love so much will be back to new in no time. Naruto almost burst out laughing when he saw the vein on her forehead throb. You are going down, Birdbrain. She charged with her golem, letting out a roar and a small smile on her face, one which Naruto noticed. They were enemies, but it was more like a platonic relationship if you ask Naruto. Doubtful. Naruto charged with a smile and Arashi letting out his own roar. Rukia flashes step away and forms ice spikes in the air and sends them down towards her enemy, who made an earth wall and blocked them all. Kitsuki turned the wall into a dragon's head and made it launch towards Rukia, who widened her eyes. Rukia formed her own hand sign and formed an ice mirror and quickly jumped into it, evading the dragon. Crystal mirrors started to form all around Kitsuki. The man then saw Rukia appear in all of the mirrors. Rukia then launched out of all the mirrors with intense speeds that the man could barely keep up with. Kitsuki then began to get slashes all over his body at rapid speeds, and he began to lose blood along with patience. This was the daughter of that monster Naruto Uzumaki. If he could kill her, there is no way he wouldn't be praised for his actions. He then received a kick to his face and a slash to his back along with an ice spike in his thigh. Kitsuki let out a yell and earth spike shot from the ground, piercing all of the mirrors. Kitsuki then encased himself in a stone pillar to avoid being hit from the rainfall of ice spikes falling down to him. He was also going to take this time to try and come up with a plan to defeat this girl. Rukia, however, was not going to give him the time to think. This was something she learned from Naruto. Never let the enemy get a second of rest. Rukia held up her right pointer finger. Yellow light took form. Hado 61, Rikijokuro. 6 light spears appeared and rushed towards the stone pillar and pierced the stone pillar. If the muffled scream was anything to go by, she guessed it was a hit. Rukia let out a sigh at the battle being over. That will keep him trapped until he passes out from blood loss. Rukia then looked over to where Anko and Haku were. It seems they were fighting off a small army going on to be 30 stone ninja. She decided to go and help them, but they really didn't need it since Anko was on that giant snake and Haku was dashing around being only a blur. You let your guard down. A voice behind Rukia said, and pain was the next thing she knew. Kitsuki was able to stab her in the side with a kunai before she got away completely. How are you over here? You should be trapped, Rukia said in a voice full of pain. She was holding her side where the blood was pouring. What you trapped was only a rock clone, you should really pay more attention to your surroundings. Kitsuki then appeared in front of Rukia and laid punch after punch on her small frame. Rukia tried to block the best she could, but in hand to hand there was no way she could be him. She had to think of something else fast. Or this would be it for her. After dodging a punch from the man she was clearly faster than, Rukia sliced his gut, making blood gush from the wound. Using this chance to get some breathing room, an idea hit her. Let's dance. Shirayuki. Rukia's normal katana quickly turned pure white and her power increased a good amount. Kitsuki, seeing this, scowled in anger. This brat would not outdo him. He flared his own chakra to a higher amount and felt the ground shake from the combined clashing forces. Rukia formed a single hand sign. Hidden Mist Jutsu. A thick mist started to form over the area of their fight, causing Kitsuki to curse. His senses were not to a level where he could fight without his eyes. He dodged from an incoming attack using only his instincts and was able to bring up a kunai and deflect the incoming weapons. It was then he felt something crawl up his arms. Whatever it was forced both his arms behind his back and keep a tight grip on them. It was Hado number 4 Hainawa. It was meant to keep you trapped and unable to move. The mist then disappeared, allowing the stone ninja to see Rukia standing a good distance away from him. He could see her blade glowing and knew a major attack was about to come from that white blade. Consider yourself lucky for not fighting my father, or there would be no mercy for you. I don't need your mercy, bitch. Kitsuki raged, trying to escape from his containment. All talk. Rukia answered him calmly and emotionlessly. Her spiritual pressure spiked and she glowed with power. Rukia stabbed the ground 4 times, allowing ice to float up from the holes in the ground before it all gathered towards the tip of her sword. Tsuji no Mai Hakuren. A giant blast of ice exploded from Rukia's sword in a beam and quickly captured Kitsuki along with the rest of the stone ninja. Haku and Anko were fighting. The ground was littered with giant craters and pools of lava and electric water. There was blood splashed on the along with deep cuts made from a sword. You're getting slow. Naruto performed a spinning kick which sent Kurotsuki flying. The black-haired teen let out a cry of pain and crashed into the ground. She had to quickly roll out the way of a falling elbow drop from Naruto which destroyed the ground. How are you not getting tired? She performed hand signs and sent out a stream of cement which caught Naruto's feet. She covered her hand in thick rock and quickly charged towards Naruto with great speed and punched him in the gut, sending him flying. The Iwa Junin smirked at her attack power. Naruto got up from the ground and spit out some blood. Nice punch, but I could have done better. Naruto smirked cockily at her. Say the guy with a busted lip. Naruto would have said more if it wasn't for the scream of Rukia snapping his attention to her. Naruto was about to dash off but stopped when he grabbed Kurotsuki's leg. Don't lose focus. She had an apologetic look on her face. She didn't want to stop him from going to her. Naruto knew playtime was over. He threw her a good distance away and got ready for his final trump card. It's been fun but now it must end. You're right, this is my all. Kurotsuki built her chakra up and got ready for her last attack. Because I like and respect you so much, I'll show you something nobody has had the pleasure to see. Naruto's chakra exploded off him and the air became chaotic. I shall show you my all. His hair then began to get frizzy and spike up even more. Naruto's once blonde locks were slowly becoming white. Naruto looked up and it revealed he had slitted blue eyes which sparkled with electricity and his hair was completely white. Everyone stopped what they were doing and looked at the source of power. No way. Anko said in awe at Naruto's power. She was also getting a little wet at him flexing his power. Holy shit. Haku couldn't believe the power coming from Naruto. Rukia looked in amazement towards her father. She felt pride at having a dad such as Naruto and also excited to one day match his power. The 3 elements that made up his storm release formed around his hand. Water, wind, lighting. Take pride in the fact that I used this form to take you down, little B. This was a form he discovered during his 3-year training. He took his storm release to another level. He forced out all the potential from his elements and literally became one with his bloodline. If a sensor tried to sense his power, they would go brain dead from the chaotic storm that was his power. Kurotsuki took a step back in fear from Naruto's power. This was the first time she had seen him so serious fighting her. It was normally all fun and just a friendly rivalry. She began to have doubts about her own power and if she could ever match him again. His power now was out of this world. When she was going to take another step, she remembered what she had been training for. It was to surpass him, become the Kage of her village, and bring a new generation of the ninja world. I've still got more. She was going to go through more hand signs but stopped when Naruto left in a sound of static. We can fight some other time, Kurotsuki. Naruto spoke in front of her. He then punched her in the gut so hard it knocked all the air out of her. Kurotsuki let out a final gasp before her eyes rolled into the back of her head and lost consciousness. Naruto caught her with a smile. He laid her on the ground gently and left in a static once again. He appeared next to Rukia who was holding her side in pain. Rukia-chan. Naruto deactivated the transformation and looked on as Haku healed Rukia. Dad, how did you get here so fast? Naruto let a small smirk cross his face. I am the fastest man alive after all. Hokage Office Tsunade was behind her desk going over the reports she had gotten from the recent battle that took part in the Land of Grass. It looked more like a war ground now. Even though the battle took place outside the hidden village, things still got dirty like most wars did. They had come out on top thankfully, but the cost was great. Many ninja died and a lot of children would never see their mothers or fathers again. The Land of Grass had sent them a letter saying how thankful they were. In the letter it explained how they would like to set up an alliance which would be beneficial to both sides. They would offer up the protection and receive all kinds of goods and open use to trading routes. The Leaf just had to send ninja to their land to provide protection and also teach the limited military forces they have. Tsunade stamped a piece of paper and slid it to the side. She now looked at the ninja who had fallen in battle with a sorrowful face. So many great ninja died all to protect their village in hopes of seeing a new tomorrow. It was then her eyes widened in surprise at what she was looking at. It was a death report of Iruka Yumino. He was killed by an earth jutsu and several kunai. Tsunade knew when Naruto heard about this it would not be good. He would either explode in a heat of anger and rush towards the hidden stone and wipe the place of the map, or, she honestly had no idea what else he would do. All that the Hokage could do is pray that he doesn't get them into a bigger mess. If there is a god up there, please have a strong grasp on Naruto when he hears this. Tsunade spoke with her head bowed and hands clasped. Praying for my return, I see. The voice of her perverted teammate came to her ears. He was smiling until he saw the look of sadness on her face. What's the matter, Tsunade-chan? Iruka passed away. Those were the only words Jiraiya needed to hear come from Tsunade's beautiful lips. His mind was able to work out what that would mean for them. When Naruto heard about this, he would no doubt lose his shit, and with his merciless reputation, there was no doubt in his mind that Naruto wouldn't go and kill every stone ninja. This is war, things like this happen. I only wish I could find some way to stop things like this from happening. Jiraiya spoke in a saddened tone of voice. His normal joyful tone of speaking was gone and replaced with a sad look on his face. Yay, but maybe the new generation will come up with something to fulfill the dream of my grandfather. Tsunade reminisces about the times Hashirama would go on about making eternal peace in the ninja world. Well, on better news, I think I have found a location on where the leader of the Akatsuki might be. Jiraiya said, trying to shine some light on the situation. That is indeed good news, just wait for Naruto to get back and you can go and check it out. Tsunade let a smile come on her face upon hearing the best news she had received all day. The smile dropped a little when she saw Jiraiya shake his head in the negative. No, princes, I should just go now and see for myself, plus, you know Naruto isn't one for sneaking around. He'd probably get irritated and blow something up. He chuckled to himself at his little joke. So, Naruto is a talented ninja with many skills, you will need backup going into unscouted enemy territory. Tsunade got up from her seat and glared at Jiraiya. Look, I know as well as anyone that Naruto is a talented ninja, but I can't wait for him to get back. I need to go while this trail is hot. Jiraiya also got up from his seat. He needed her to see things his way. There might not be another chance for them to get this kind of lead again. Naruto has had more encounters with their members than you have, Jiraiya. He surely knows how they operate now and will only help you. Tsunade said, stepping in his personal space, putting her chest up against his with her having to glare up since Jiraiya was much taller than she was. I have much more experience in this line of work than he does. It's not like I am going looking for a fight, I am just going to be in and out. If Naruto comes with me there will no doubt be a fight. Jiraiya held his stern gaze to Tsunade's gorgeous hazel eyes with a determination she hadn't seen in years. When Jiraiya thought Tsunade would no longer want to talk and go straight to punching, he was surprised when she wrapped her arms around him in a tight hug. No, Jiraiya, not you too. Tsunade buried her face in his chest. Jiraiya made a hand sign and sent the Anbu from the room. They left without a sound, knowing this was a private conversation. I don't want you to die, and I know if you go there you'll die. The village needs you, I need you. Those last words made Jiraiya's eyes widen in shock. He had wanted to hear those words his whole life. Loving the same girl for his whole life, many called him foolish while girls thought it was cute. The legendary ninja had received many love letters throughout his life, but none of it mattered to him. There was only one girl turned woman he wanted in his life. Wrapping his arms around the woman, Jiraiya rested his head atop of hers and rubbed circles around her back. Don't worry, Tsunade-chan, I won't be going anywhere. Tsunade removed her head from his chest and looked up with red cheeks and puffy eyes. Taking a breath, she leaned up and planted a kiss on her old teammate's lips. Jiraiya's eyes were as wide as dinner plates. The love of his life was now kissing him on the lips. He had so many wet dreams about this and even wrote scenes about this in his book. However, now was the real deal and he could not fold under pressure. Wrapping his arms around the slim waist of Tsunade, Jiraiya started to kiss back, pouring all the love he had stored up over the years into the kiss. It was enough to make Tsunade's legs become weak and toes to curl. They broke away from the kiss with equal blushes on their faces and a trail of saliva connecting from their lips. I think we should take this somewhere private, Jiraiya said, and gave Tsunade no time to answer back and simply picked her up in bridal style and left the office in a swirl of leaves. Akatsuki meeting, I have got some information you all should know. The nasty-looking figure of Zetsu spoke, standing on the finger of the Gedo statue that was fucking empty. What is it? Pain asked, knowing any information Zetsu gave was great information. Sasuke Uchiha and Orochimaru have been killed. Everyone was silent in the room. It was Conan, Pain, Toby, and Itachi. Nobody spoke up due to shock that they wouldn't show. It was then everyone's eyes turned to Itachi, who was doing his best to keep a calm face and keep his emotions in check. Who killed them? Itachi's voice came out blank as ever, but everyone could tell there was an edge in his voice. It was Naruto Uzumaki. Everyone was shocked once again that the blonde leaf ninja had struck again. Nobody was more shocked than Itachi. However, he remembered what Naruto had told him at the final valley 3 years ago. Was this what he meant by, I need to hurry up? Itachi made a mission to go and speak with Naruto face to face. There was a part of him that wanted the blonde dead, while the leaf ninja side of him knew it was the right thing to do. And Itachi was a leaf ninja first. But it didn't matter anyway, he was going to die soon, so he might as well just go out like any good leaf ninja would. That's not all, he is currently out of the village and in the land of spring fighting off a small fleet of stone ninja who wanted to take control of the place for the technology. Zetsu added in more information. You have brought great information, Zetsu. We will use it to turn this little war around in our favor. Pain replied to Zetsu, trying to bring confidence back to the last members, but it was not working. He could see that Itachi was not all here. Conan stayed by his side. He could not tell what Toby was thinking. He really wanted to know what the man thought about this whole situation. I've had enough, the deep voice came from the masked man of his thoughts. Toby had finally spoken up. This brat is getting in the way of our plan and just turning the world upside down. We need to get back on track. And just what are you saying? Pain turned his vision to the masked man. I, Madara Uchiha, am taking over. Pain's vision narrowed, but he didn't say anything since Madara had been the leader all along, but he didn't know that Itachi already suspected this in the first place. Pain, you will go and capture Naruto Uzumaki. He has run rampant for too long. Land of Spring. Naruto and the group were in the throne room of the castle located at the center of the town. Gyuki was seated in her throne made from gold and had red cushions. There was a worried look on her face at seeing how everyone looked beat up. They had been ushered to the throne room as soon as they made it to the gates. What happened to you guys? Gyuki questioned with worry. Naruto smiled at the concern in the princess' eyes. We simply ran into the enemy on the way here, but as you can see, we came out on top. He then looked down towards his daughter. And it's all thanks to this ninja right here. Naruto gently patted Rukia's back. He was still a little sad that she took a major blow like that. He had told her to not drop her guard and make sure the enemy was dead, but she wasn't as ruthless as he was. Much more noble and respectful. I simply did my duty as a leaf shinobi. Rukia said, respectful and a slight dust of pink on her cheeks from being the center of attention in such a situation. Ah, come on, have a little more arrogance in you. That last move you did was badass. Anko said with much enthusiasm. Arrogance can be a ninja's downfall. Rukia said sagely. Very wise words, Rukia-chan. Haku said with a bright smile on her face. She was very proud of how Rukia had turned out and could still grow. Yay, but there is no harm in flexing your power every now and then. Naruto said with a grin. A cough from the throne made them all remember they were in the presence of royalty. As amusing as this is, you all have a mission and also need to rest from your recent battle. You can leave the next day once you have rested once more. Naruto could simply send the supplies along with his group back to the village in an instant, and she was sure that is what he would do. Yay, but you should buff the security on the place since we know that Stone Ninja are here. My presence will stall them and also make them think twice about trying anything stupid. Naruto brought up the point that there was Stone Ninja in enemy territory. He also had the strange feeling that he needed to go back to the leaf, as if there was something of great importance he needed to know. I will get on it at once. Gyuki clapped her hands. Guards, raise the security on the outer walls and bring me reports every 2 hours. Koyuki ordered the guards who had rushed into the room. What? The usually noisy Hokage office was for once quiet. It was as if it were a ghost town and not the office of the village leader. The members in the office were Tsunade, Jiraiya, Anko, and Naruto. The room was in this state because of Naruto's recent question. He had just been told Iruka was killed. Naruto-kun. Anko thought in sadness for her man. He had been there for her ever since he was assigned to her and she wanted to return the favor any way she could. Tsunade gazed towards Naruto with sorrow. This was the worst part of her job and it only made things worse since she saw Naruto as her son. Outside the office the sky became dark and storm clouds started to form above, followed by the pouring rain and familiar sound of thunder clapping. A bolt of lightning shot down from the sky and completely obliterated a training ground. Naruto-kun, you need to calm down. Kasumi shouted from the seal. Naruto, stop. You need to relax. Tsunade screamed over the thunderstorm outside. I can't calm down. Naruto retorted with his power exploding off him. Inside his mind, Naruto started to recall all the memories he had with Iruka. He remembered when they ate ramen, how Naruto told Iruka he would become a ninja legend. Now, he wouldn't see him complete his dream. All because of the stone ninja. Naruto-kun, just hold on. Anko tried to make her way towards Naruto but was blasted into the wall when Naruto released an enormous amount of power, blowing the roof of the building off, allowing the pouring rain to fall into the office. The blonde paid no attention to the fact that he just attacked everyone in the office and simply floated to the sky. Everyone then looked up and saw Naruto's hair turn completely white and his blue eyes become slit while his body hummed with power. This was Godspeed. Oh no, Tsunade whispered while looking up with trepidation at Naruto. Naruto, don't do it. Jiraiya yelled towards Naruto, who was not listening and only had his mind focused on one goal at the moment. Destroying the hidden stone village. Naruto then took off, flying towards the direction of the hidden stone village with great speed. It sounded like thunder when Naruto took off with his full speed, flying at speeds faster than lighting itself. Damn. Tsunade smashed her desk, angry that Naruto was not listening to her. As a Hokage, it would be for the best if Naruto went and destroyed the hidden stone, but as Naruto's surrogate mother she was worried about the backlash something like this would have on his mental state. Nobody needed an insane Naruto flying around destroying countries. Tsunade only hoped that Naruto would calm down on his way to the village and have some mercy for the village, which was a very small chance since the teen was merciless. Things really got out of hand quickly. What was them reporting a successful protection mission and delivery of the supplies turned into her explaining how Iruka fell in battle. She knew that Naruto would react in some kind of violent way, and to no surprise she was correct, and indeed Naruto reacted in such a manner. Jiraiya had brought up the idea of trying to contain Naruto, which would not have worked. Naruto was far stronger than the both of them, and the only way they would be able to contain him is if Karen used her chains, but the redhead teen knew better than to try that again. Since last time, she said Naruto made his own Uzumaki chakra chains and completely overpowered hers and then proceeded to fly through the air while holding her with the chains. So expecting the worst but praying for the best, they got none of the above and Naruto simply went apeshit and is about to commit mass genocide. In the dark clouds of the sky, Naruto was flying at immense speed with a blank face. There was no bloodthirsty grin on his face like there usually was when he was about to engage in a fight. Instead he was like a calm storm. Or at least the eye of it, since he was about to wreak havoc in only a matter of minutes. Naruto looked down to see the rocky plains and mountain ranges of his target in range. The usual grin then started to make its way on his face while his blood began to pump in excitement. He was about to face a village by himself after all, and he would surely have a good dance. Naruto-kun, you should stop before it is too late. Kasumi tried to reason from within his head. I know how you are feeling, but you don't know how I feel at all. You are just a mass of chakra who happens to be good with her mouth. You couldn't possibly know how I feel. Naruto retorted in anger, not even caring about what he just said to someone he loved. Kasumi inside the seal gasps and tears quickly form in her eyes. The orange fox ears laid flat on her head in sadness while her heart ached. It was true she was a mass of chakra, but that didn't mean she didn't have feelings or a heart, and Naruto knew this, but he still said those hurtful words. Normally words like this wouldn't even bother Kasumi, but since it was coming from someone she loved and cherished, it just hit differently. And what did Naruto mean? She knew nothing. Kasumi had told her about the life she had lived and how her father, the Sage of Six Paths, died and it hurt. Kasumi had told Naruto about how when her siblings started to get captured it felt as if she failed them all and couldn't protect anyone. If he wanted to act like that, then he would get no chakra from her. Fine. I was just trying to help you, but if you're going to be a bitch about it, then I won't help you at all. Kasumi retorted in rage. Fine, I don't need you anyways. Naruto retorted and cut their mental link, leaving Kasumi to comfort herself. Kuretsuki's house in her training field, the Junin of the village was currently training. Wearing grey leggings along with black slip-on sandals. She was wearing a dark red shirt with a Uzumaki swirl on the left shoulder while her village symbol was on the back. It was a shirt Naruto gifted her during one of their many fights over the years, and he said think of it as a way of friendship and a way of saying she was an ally to the Uzumaki. After her fight with Naruto and seeing his power dwarf her in such a manner, it made her feel helpless and inferior. As a proud Kunoichian woman, there was no way that could fly. So the pink-eyed teen was now fighting multiple rock clones of herself with a blindfold on to increase her sensor capability. She had attempted to try and fuse with her bloodline like Naruto did, but only ended with her getting burned and cursing Naruto. Kuretsuki threw a punch and a lava dragon rose from the ground and destroyed the clones in front of her. The girl performed a spinning kick and kicked the heads off of 2 clones. The teen jumped back, avoiding lava bullets. About to continue, she paused when there was the feeling of water hitting her forehead. Raising a hand up to see if it was just sweat or actual rain. The liquid was cold instead of being hot like her sweat. Weird, I could have sworn it was a clear sky today. Raising the blindfold above her eyes and looked to the now dark skies roaring with thunder and the similar flashes of lightning. It was then a feeling of dread overtook her stomach. There is no way that Bird B Brain would come all the way here by himself, right? She received her answer when a bolt of lightning struck the front village gates and a massive key was felt throughout the whole village. He would. She rushed inside to prepare her gear and get ready to go off and fight the blonde. Naruto was standing outside the front gates with fury burning in his blue-slitted eyes. There was his trusty moonlight blade, which looked like yin and yang, being black and white but always ready to slay enemies and shed blood. He turned to the shocked gate guards. Take a picture, it might go with you to heaven. The heavenly demon, one of the guards said in fright. Storm of the Leaf. The other trembled in fear. Just being in the presence of Naruto was overwhelming, not to mention he was in a bad mood. That was until their fear quickly turned to rage. You bastard. They pulled out kunai and quickly charged Naruto, intent on avenging their fallen comrades. Naruto simply raised his fingers and bolts of lightning came from his fingers and shot right through their hearts, killing them in an instant. Naruto then proceeded to casually walk inside the village as if he was just some traveler and not a double S-rank ninja. Once he got inside, there were 2 squads of Anbu who surrounded him with their weapons drawn and keep pushing down on Naruto in an attempt to scare him. However, their ki was at best only massaging his shoulders and at worst tickling him. What are you doing here, you bastard? The captain asked with clear anger towards Naruto, who simply looked back with a grin that unnerved everyone, since it was called the Devil's Grin. Since Naruto always had the grin on his face when going into battle and massacring their forces. Isn't it obvious? I've come to kill you all. The Anbu all shuddered at the cold tone of Naruto. He was dead serious, and despite being one to a whole village, there were doubts about their power. You won't be killing anyone, Storm of the Leaf. Another stone Anbu said, getting his weapon ready. Naruto simply smirked at them. Oh yay, so what about those guys? Naruto jerked a thumb to the dead gate guards. You are going to face the wrath of stone for that. All the Anbu went down to impale Naruto with their swords, but only got impaled by chains. Naruto had manifested 12 chakra chains and stabbed all of them. He threw their bodies into buildings, causing extra damage to their dying bodies and village. The civilians who saw this cowered in fear and ran away screaming, afraid they would be next on Naruto's kill list. Naruto didn't even pay attention to them and simply started moving through the village, slicing down any stone ninja he saw, rather they be Genin, Chunin, or Junin. Rather they be women, children, or men. All that mattered was they were his enemies, and he showed no mercy to his enemies. You threatened him and your life was forfeit. Naruto blocked stone bullets and turned to the direction it came from. He saw a dozen ninja on the roof shooting stone bullets. Really, stone pebbles. His sights then locked onto all of them and a rather sinister grin took form on his face. Naruto wasn't downright an evil person nor did he go out of his way to be a dark person, but that did not mean he didn't enjoy the rather bad parts of the ninja lifestyle. He loved to fight and the feeling of taking victory in an intense situation was rather addicting, but he tried not to become overcome by his bloodlust and bloody path of the ninja. All of that was thrown out of the window right now and he would simply lay down his enemies like any ninja would. This is what came with war and it was never pretty, but Naruto did not care at the moment. He was too blinded by his grief and rage, allowing his emotions to guide him for once in his life. Naruto disappeared from view, causing the stone ninja to panic and look around for the blonde. It was then they heard the sound of lightning crackling, but it was already too late. The leaf Junin fell on him like a bird coming down to claim a snake. Naruto and his several clones shoved their lightning-covered palms on their heads, causing their brains to fry and insides to melt. Lighting palm can really be deadly. Naruto covered his hands or palms in lightning and used them to directly attack his enemies or shoot blasts of lightning towards the enemy. He then saw more ninja quickly approaching him from all sides and he grinned. If they wanted to play the numbers game, he could as well. Naruto crossed his fingers and in a puff of smoke, 100 clones of Naruto appeared. He could make more, but that would just be overkill and it would be no fun that way. Naruto and his clones all dashed off in different directions with Godspeed activated and making their way towards the squads of enemy ninja. Onoki watched from the top of his tower in anger as this one brat completely demolished his village by himself. His pride was hurt at the fact a boy alone could do this much damage to his village. Naruto wasn't even using his summons, which would have only made things worse for the place. He watched as a giant stone golem raised its fist to smash Naruto to a blood stain on the ground. The blonde-haired teen simply grabbed the fist with one hand before smashing him and tossed the arm to the side, allowing the golem to be wide open. Onoki watched as Naruto did a jumping uppercut and took the golem's head clean off. He did that with just his strength alone. Onoki's eyes were wide as can be. Even he would have to dodge something like that. It wasn't over, however, though. It seems more ninja wanted to try their hand and smash him with giant golems. He's dead now. Onoki smirked in victory but couldn't shake the worry he had in his stomach at the young teen's grin. Die, demon. Onoki heard his ninja roar before sending their golems to attack. If you're going to call me demon. Naruto put his hand out and gripped air, allowing a giant blade of wind to be seen in his hand. Then you must say the heavenly. Naruto swung the giant wind blade in a wide arch and sliced all of the surrounding buildings in half, along with killing some ninja and the golems. My god. Onoki mumbled in shock and a little fear at Naruto. He was still sure that he could handle the blonde for the most part, but his speed and shadow clones would be a big problem. A horde of ninja jumped down in front of Naruto and didn't say anything and only charged with their weapons ready to kill and jutsu on hand. Naruto jumped in the air and caught a falling lightning bolt and threw it towards the small army, causing a giant explosion to go off and blow up everything for miles. When the smoke cleared, it showed dead bodies and blood-stained streets, a real murder. More and more ninja appeared surrounding Naruto, who was already going through hand signs. Water style. Raging seas. Titanic waves formed from thin air and swallowed up everything in its path like a starving beast, canceling the screams of terror that wanted to escape to the world. Naruto ducked, weaved and sidestepped multiple fist and sword strikes. The blonde launched consecutive punches at an undetectable speed, creating after images of his fist. It connected with tremendous force to his multiple enemies and caused colossal explosions to form from the power of his attacks. Ninja were sent flying from the shockwaves that occurred through the village. It felt like an earthquake was happening. While buildings were destroyed, Naruto backflipped out of the way of a lava dragon that would have done major damage. Why are you doing this, Naruto? Kurotsuki asked in a sad tone. Sure, she had killed some leaf ninja, but that was on the battlefield where it was killed or be killed. In a way, Naruto could be said to be doing the same things, but this felt personal. Oh, Kuro-chan, nice to see you made it home safe. Naruto gave her a wave and smirk. Why are you attacking my village? Kuro yelled, losing her patience. I am simply taking out my enemies. Come on, you know how I do. Naruto went to slice off someone's head but was stopped when Kurotsuki appeared and blocked the sword strike with her kunai. Before we fight, let me get the boss. Wah, she was cut off when the Naruto she was talking to left in a puff of smoke. That was a C clone doing all of this. A blue flash appeared a little in front of her, showing Naruto standing there. Except he was covered in blood and his sword dripped in the blood of its enemies. His white hair still spiked up while small blood drops stained his face. "I'd rather not kill you, Bumblebee," Naruto said softly, a contrast to his bloody appearance. "Then just leave. Whoever you are trying to avenge should be satisfied right now. You've taken enough lives today," Kurotsuki told Naruto in an attempt to get him to calm down. The blonde then looked around at the damage he had done. There were collapsed buildings, deep trenches from his sword marks, and craters that could fill up a lake from his massive Rasengan. There were dead bodies everywhere along with people crying out for help. The ground rumbled and he saw his clones launching all kinds of jutsu, even different elements from his main water, wind, and lightning. The village was a wreck and in shambles. The blonde's eyes widened in shock. This looked like a massacre. A one-sided beat down. Now that he has calmed down and could think straight. "I meant to come and kill you guys, but I didn't want to destroy your village, or at least not to this level." "What do you mean? Are you not feeling guilty after everything you have done?" Kurotsuki asked in disbelief. Naruto looked towards his friend in pity. "Look, little B, I came up on the streets. From the very beginning I was cutthroat. I just couldn't have mercy growing up in the worst part of the village. Not to mention becoming a ninja where we are trained to kill. My sensei is a bloodthirsty lunatic and I hold the strongest Biju who just so happened to have a lot of malice and hate." Naruto's eyes then widened at remembering those people. Now that his mind was clear, he could comprehend what he said and did to both some of his precious people. "Kasumi. Kasumi." He received no response from the angry fox and only felt anger be sent back towards him. Kurotsuki, hearing a little of Naruto's past, could now understand why he was like this. Being the granddaughter of the cage, she was a little spoiled and didn't really know any hardships until she became a ninja, and even then, due to being a noble in her village, she had many teachers to help her. Putting herself in Naruto's shoes, or at least trying to, she could understand how he must feel. "Good distraction, Kurotsuki. I got him right where I want him." The shout came from the flying old man who had a white cube in his hands. Particle style. Atomic dismantling jutsu. The square cube launched towards Naruto, whose eyes widened. "Naruto!" Kurotsuki shouted in fear. She then glared towards her grandfather. "Why'd you do that?" "Why?" Onoki asked in bewilderment. "He is the enemy, that is reason enough. That little brat caused enough damage in his short lifespan." The flying old man would have said more if his attention wasn't grabbed by a blue light taking over his vision. He was then slammed in the face by a giant ball of chakra and sent crashing into the ground. Massive Rasengan. Naruto appeared floating over the now formed crater that had Onoki lying in the crater heavily damaged. Naruto then turned his slitted eyes to Kurotsuki. "And here I thought we were having a bestie moment. Naruto, I didn't know." "Save it," he said harshly and started to rise into the air. Naruto was now pissed off again and didn't want to listen to reason. The clouds above the sky, the clouds darkened and lighting could be seen flashing around the entire world. The biggest storm cloud to ever be seen in history began to form above the hidden stone village. The cloud could be seen all over the world and even from space. In the village, Naruto was floating above everything with his hand raised and palm out to the sky as if reaching for something. Down in the village and really all over the world, people of the stone village began to run away and scream in fear, even the ninja who were once fighting Naruto. Some even dropped their weapons and just looked up with hopeless eyes. WW what? MIGG God. Is he a god? These were just some of the things the ninja on the ground said. Nobody saw a Venus flytrap, or at least chose not to pay attention to it in others. "Well, there goes our ally," the white half of Zetsu said. "He better not. If he destroys this village, our plan will surely fail and everything will have been for nothing," the black Zetsu said through gritted teeth. Onoki got up from the crater with wide eyes and a horrified face. He quickly flew up to the skies even though he just wanted to get some rest after taking that point-blank Rasengan. "I have to do something." He got a good distance above the sky and aimed his hands upwards to wipe the whole cloud out. This would be his biggest particle style ever. Once Onoki got it charged up enough, he launched it with a shout and watched as it didn't even dent the giant cloud. "As thanks for entertaining me, I'll blow you all clean away." Naruto grinned and closed his hand. Or at least would have if something or someone grabbed his hand. Naruto looked to his palm that was almost closed and saw a ghostly hand. He followed the hand and traced it back to a familiar face. Iruka-sensei. The ghostly face simply smiled and shook its head before it started to fade in the wind. Wait, Iruka. Don't go. Naruto reached out to try and get a hold of his fading sensei. It was too late. Naruto retracted his hand and let tears escape his eyes. He then looked down at the village below him that was in shambles. This is not what Iruka would want. The blonde once again started to sober up, but this time he would not flip out again. Naruto commanded Jianduan to vanish. He was about to turn all of Earth Country into a smoking crater but was stopped at the last second. I have done enough. Naruto then left with a burst of speed back to the Leaf Village, allowing Earth Country to live. Naruto knew this would keep them out of the war for a while until they get back in order. Once he made his way to the village, he just hovered over the village first. He then felt guilt creep up. He acted out in the office which he could see was being repaired. Naruto then saw Anko and his guilt only grew at seeing the limp in her step and not a limp from a good night in bed. Naruto concluded she must have injured her back when Naruto blew her into the wall. He then remembered what he said to Kasumi and only felt his sadness increase. I'm sorry everyone. The blonde then remembered what his summons had told him and now chose this as a good time to go and see what Hiro wanted. Naruto bit his thumb and did the summoning to send himself to the land of the Thunderbirds. Summoning World. Naruto appeared in a puff of smoke on a mountain peak. He looked over and found he was outside a cave on the side of the mountain that was surrounded by thunderclouds and endless lightning streaks. This place had winds that could blow you off your feet when it really picks up, along with very little oxygen, with being so high in the air. The blonde looked around and saw countless birds flying around letting out caws and shrieks. Naruto-sama. The blonde looked off the cliffside and saw a giant orange six-winged bird flying towards him. The bird had a long feather on the top of its head that was blue, in contrast to its orange body. Blaze. Naruto shouted with a smile as the bird flew right into him, sending Naruto crashing into the cliffside. He wrapped his arms around the giant bird and started giving it a big hug. How are you doing, girl? I haven't seen you in years. The now named Blaze smiled the best a bird could and let out happy moans as Naruto rubbed right behind her feathers like he used to all those years ago. I've been good, as you can see. Blaze said and licked Naruto's face, making him smile happily. You're telling me, last time I saw you I could sit you on my head. Naruto broke away from the hug. This was his home while being in the summon world, and Blaze would always come and chill with him when she wasn't training. So what are you doing here, Naruto-sama? Blaze asked curiously. Naruto's look turned sad and regretful. It was then Blaze got a good look at Naruto. He was all bloody and his white hair was stained with blood. It looked like he just came from a war zone. I am here to train and also get some peace of mind. Oh, Hiro-sama has wanted you to come for a while now, she doesn't like how you kept her waiting. Blaze said with a nod. Yay, I bet the old lady will try and talk my ear off about it. Hey, you know she doesn't like when you call her old lady. Blaze worried that Naruto would be heard and get in trouble. Yay, whatever. Naruto waved Blaze off nonchalantly. Let me go wash up and then I will head over to see what she needs. Naruto walked into the cave which had all the things a regular home had. Okay, I will let the boss lady know you're here. Blaze saluted Naruto like a soldier with one of her wings. She then flew off at great speeds and left a trail of lightning behind. After 20 minutes Naruto walked out the cave refreshed and ready to train. He was wearing an orange wife beater allowing his toned arms to breathe free to the world. White baggy pants along with white slip-ons. He then took flight and flew to the highest mountain peak and Mother's Nest to see the boss summon. Naruto pierced the last set of clouds and saw a giant bird's nest but quickly ducked a lightning bolt aimed for his face. Hey, that would have hurt. Oh, shut up. It's not like it would have killed you. The familiar womanly voice of Hiro sounded. It's nice to see you as well. Naruto said and hovered over to the bird and laid in her comfy feathers. I didn't call you here to rest. Hiro said but didn't make any attempt to move Naruto. Yeah, I know, but you are just so comfy. Naruto rolled around in her feathers looking like a child playing in mud. This caused Hiro's brow to twitch and want to smack him with one of her wings. In all seriousness, what is wrong with you? I can feel there is something bothering you, plus I don't see that little fox Kasumi hanging around your neck like always. Hiro questioned Naruto. Knowing him for almost 4 years now, she could tell when something is bothering him. I said and did some things I shouldn't have, Naruto said, putting his face in her feathers to hide his shame. What did you do? Hiro asked, annoyed. Just send someone to go and look at the stone village, and while you do that, can you tell my mom I am here to train? Naruto retorted, not looking up. Fine. Hiro called some birds up here and then told them what to do and watched as they left in lightning bolts. Now, Hiro lifted Naruto off of her with her wing and stood up. It's time for us to get training. Naruto rolled over on his back. Training in what? We are going to make you a sage. Hiro puffed her chest out and had pride all in her tone. You mean one of those bald guys who walk around the world trying to speak about peace and get no action with women? Naruto did a fake gag. I think I'm going to be sick. Yes and no, plus didn't you say that Jiraiya called you the child of prophecy and you would bring peace to the world? Yay. He also said he slept with a princess. Naruto laughed outright. Well anyways, you will become a sage, but not like those bald guys as you put it. We would not want such a wimp for our summoner. Hiro laid her yellow piercing eyes on Naruto. Now get up, we need to get going, you're gonna be here for a while. While Naruto was in the summoning world, 6 people in black cloaks with red clouds were traveling through the forest. Soon, I will have the 9 and 4 tails. Then peace can be achieved. That will be it for this video. If you want more, comment down below, like, subscribe. And see you guys later.